The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 429, has a path to a dignified career. Are you a skilled electrician or lineman? Tired of dead-end, low-paying jobs? Local 429 is accepting applications for highly skilled electricians and linemen and is providing the best training in Middle Tennessee. They are the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 429. Call them at 615-889-4429 or go online to ibew429.org. Happy Thanksgiving from everyone at the IBEW.
Hello, this is Greg Pogue, inviting you to join me every Saturday morning here on 94.9 The Fan for 2 hours of fun and frivolity live from the iconic Roy's Meat Service in East Nashville. From 9 to 10, it's Prep Football Talk presented by Freeman Webb with Coach Bubba Spears, followed from 10 to 11 with One-on-One with Greg Pogue. Come hang out with us every Saturday morning at Roy's and just give us a listen from 9 to 11 right here on 94.9 FM The Fan.
Your sports live here. WBUZ HD3 Laverne. We are the Game Nashville Sports Network. ESPN 94.9 The Fan.
30 years of the best sports talk in Middle Tennessee. It's the George Plaster Show, featuring Tennessee Sports Hall of Famers Kelly Holcomb and young gun Billy Derrick. And now, here's your host, George Plaster.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome in. It's kind of a cloudy, overcast Friday in Nashville, and depending on where you may be getting, I don't know, a little glimpse of sunshine. You may be getting a little bit of rain. It's going to be this way through tomorrow morning. It doesn't look all that bad for the games tonight, and that's a good thing. Parker Kelly is alongside. The Ford Ice Center is ridiculously quiet. Normally on Friday, it is a zoo with a lot of tournaments in here. Today, quiet.
Which I won't complain about because normally we've had a lot of kids running around in the background and it's been very distracting. So I'll take peace and quiet when I can get it.
Okay, that's wonderful. So we got round 3 tonight of the high school football playoffs. And on the private school level, it could be the final round before you get to the state. But for most, it is round 3 of what is ultimately a 5-round deal. We ready to go and get started? Okay, let's say Creasy. Hello. It's amazing what this guy has accomplished at Murfreesboro, Oakland. Just listen to this one really close. The Patriots, that's Oakland, will advance to the quarterfinals for the 13th consecutive season. Let's bring Coach Kevin Creasy to our microphones. Kevin, this is George Plaster. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me, George.
So when I read that, do you ever, as a coach, stop for a second and say, "Dadgum, we've gotten something done here"?
No, not really. I tell you the truth. One day I plan on it. You know, we're going to look back at it and say, "Man, we had a great run." But while it's going on, you don't want to look back. You want to look forward. So we got to win this one tonight, and that will be my 11th straight year here at Oakland, making it to the Final Four,
which is absolutely just insane. And congratulations. And Parker Kelly will ask you most of the questions tonight about Green Hill. But when you took this job, did you ever envision it would rise to this?
I knew that Oakland, had a good run with Coach McDaniel, and, they had good administrative support. And the biggest thing was they had some good players. They just, had to get over the hump. Maryville went from 5A to 6A and became a problem for everybody in Rutherford County. And they still are. And, Blackman gets to play those guys tonight. We've had our rounds with Mount Juliet over the years, and now it seems like Green Hill is the team out of Wilson County that everybody's got to watch out for.
Yeah, and a very new school. They've gotten to this level really quick. Deep down, Is it quicker than you thought they would?
Yeah, you wouldn't expect that much success at a new school, but it reminds me a little bit of when Ravenwood first opened up and how well they did. It's a good zone over there. They got good kids, and it's obviously affected Mount Juliet, but so has opening up Siegel here right beside of Oakland, or opening up Blackman right beside of Riverdale. It's just one of those deals. This place is booming in Middle Tennessee, and there's new schools going up all the time. And I give Coach Crouch credit. He's the head coach over there and does a heck of a job.
Coach, I know you probably get this a lot, but I just wanted to ask, because from year to year, you may have some players that are on the team for, starters for you for 2, 3, 4 years, but every year it's kind of a different team. How do you continue to get your guys to play at the level that they've been playing on a year in and year out basis?
I think it kind of sounds cliche-ish, but, we have a standard. They do not want to disappoint the people that came before them. They want to play up to the standard, and they want to work at a high level like guys have done before them. I think a big part of it is I've had a lot of the same coaches that have stuck with me and stuck with those guys throughout the years, and, consistency with coaching staff, everybody kind of singing off the same sheet of music. I think that's a big part of, teams having success and ultimately trying to build themselves a dynasty.
And when your players are out and about and they get asked, what is so special about this Oakland program, what would you hope that they say?
Well, I hope they say it's, the relationships. I think we have a good relationship with our players. They do understand, who has to answer to who around here. And ultimately, I think we do treat them so many ways. They got to like a few of them. And I think that does make them play really hard for us. And ultimately, the best compliment that a coach can get is win or lose when you're shaking hands, the other coach saying, Coach, I really love how hard your team plays. And I think anybody that plays us, even if we come up on the short end of the stick, they'll say that our guys, play their guts out and play really hard.
Now, flipping the page to Green Hill, they have a very dynamic quarterback in Cannon Burrows. I know when you're playing a guy like that, it's kind of hard to take him out of the picture, just given how dynamic he is. But how do you feel like your defense can really limit him tonight?
Well, I think he's a great player. I know he's committed to UT Martin, which is awesome. I think Coach Simpson will love him, and he'll get to play pretty quickly. Before all this transfer portal stuff, if Cannon came through 10 years ago, I think he would be a group of 5 quarterback for sure, if not bigger. But now, quarterbacks are kind of getting screwed over a little bit coming out of high school. If you're just a 6'3", 200-pounder like he is, and you're 18, they're taking the 6'3", 200-pounder that's 23 instead. That may be on his 4th or 5th school. But Cannon's going to have a great career in college. He's had a great career so far in high school. Dual threat guy. They run, the perfect offense, made just for him. And our defense is going to have their hands full tonight.
And let's talk about the plan offensively. Green Hill has a very good defense as well, and they've emphasized scheduling really tough opponents in the regular season so that when they get to this point and they're playing a team like your program has at Oakland, that they're prepared. And I know as competitors, you never gloss over an opponent, especially when you're at this stage in the playoffs. But do you feel like that is up the intensity for your team tonight?
Yeah, I think we had a walkthrough early before school this morning, and, you could see our guys were really focused because they know the task at hand is tough. Will Butler, he's number 17 for Green Hill. He's one of my favorite players I've watched on film this year. They have another kid that's all over the place that's committed to play for Army. So, they're tough on defense, tough on special teams, well coached, like I said, good offense. And to Crouch's credit, they went out and they scheduled Ravenwood, they scheduled Page, they scheduled Beach, and we played Beach and had a state championship game with Beach not too long ago, and they beat Beach, and anybody that can go out and defeat a Crabtree coach team like Beach, has our respect. And then you turn around and you look at their record, their only two losses are to Ravenwood and Page, who, by the way, are undefeated. So they handled Smyrna, which is out of our region, represent our region in the playoffs, and put 42 up on Smyrna. And that's right after, they put 42 up on Wilson Central and 39 on Mount Juliet. So those kind of numbers get our attention, and beat a team out of East Tennessee, Science Hill, just last week. Had a heck of a game with those guys. And so, I think our guys know exactly what we're in for tonight.
What did you like about your team last week that you feel like you can build off of heading into this game tonight?
We had a couple injuries, and we had some guys step up and go in and play. And we were hoping to get both injuries back tonight, but it's not looking like it. And so, it was good to get some guys some experience that maybe only got mop-up duty. They got in, right in the second quarter when things, were, could have swung a different way for us. But, we put on more steam, it seemed like, when the younger guys went in. And we're already starting, two sophomores on the offensive line, a freshman on the offensive line. Our quarterbacks, we got two of them. One of them's a junior, one of them's a freshman. So the youth movement's going pretty well here at Oakland because unlike 10 years ago when I got here, freshmen never saw the field. Usually sophomores never saw the field. But we've got a whole bunch of them playing significant roles for us, and hopefully that'll lead to more wins in the future.
What does that say about your younger guys? Because I know when I was a freshman and sophomore in high school, it was like everything was moving so fast when you're out there on the field. But what does that say about them that they're able to play at that high of a level at such a young age?
Yeah, it just tells me that obviously football is important to them. I mean, there's so many distractions now for teenagers, for a 15-year-old to get here early in the morning and do a Friday walkthrough after, practicing all week and, never being late and always watching film and, always studying his handouts that we give them. That just tells you that we got some people that really enjoy football, and they enjoy winning, and they enjoy each other, and that's half the battle.
And last one for you, because I know you got to run, but what do you want to see besides a win? Because I know all coaches want to win. That's the end goal. But what do you want to see out of your team tonight stylistically against Green Hill?
Well, we're not sure what the weather's going to do, but we don't want the weather to be a factor. We don't want Green Hill to be a factor. We want to worry about Oakland. And Oakland oftentimes is in the way of Oakland. If we can just clean up our play and make sure that, we play mistake-free, and I like to play smooth. I think Green Hill's, watching them, they're so smooth on offense. That's something we aspire to be, and mistake-free. And, like I said, we need to worry about Oakland. And as far as stylistic points, we're winning by 1 point. That would be perfect for me. I'm fine with any win as long as we win. They're all beautiful. Anybody says it's an ugly win, that's not true. There's no such thing as an ugly win. It's just some wins are prettier than others, but they're all pretty, and we'll take a 1 point win if we can get it.
Amen. Kevin, thank you for taking the time to come on this. And again, congratulations on what you've accomplished at Oakland, because it truly is remarkable.
Well, George, I appreciate you having a high school dude on your show. I appreciate everything you've always done for high school football, man, and keep it up.
Hey, you're nice to say that. Thank you. Good luck tonight.
All right, thank you.
That's a good man right there. Kevin Creasy is the head coach at Murfreesboro, Oakland, and they have been, if you want to put the D word out there, they've been a dynasty.
They have just been a wrecking ball ever since he's been there. Year in and year out. Never fails. Doesn't matter who's out on the field for him.
What I love, though, about him is that anytime you deal with him, you don't ever feel big-timed. He's just the same guy as if they were, 4-7 or whatever.
Because if you knew how many state championship rings he has on both of his hands, it's easy to feel intimidated when you're talking to him.
He's got a few. He and Rick Insell, who built such a dynasty at Shelbyville, ought to get together and compare rings. Okay, so we're off and running on week 3. Let me real quickly give you a quick weather report on what it looks like tonight. So it looks like rain is going to move in before 4 p.m. around most of our area. My thing says rain in 6 minutes. I don't know about that, but only during the 4 o'clock hour. And the rest of the night until around 11 p.m. is basically totally cloudy, mid-60s. And the temperature really does not change from 5 o'clock until 11 o'clock. So all in all, keep your fingers crossed. I don't think the weather is going to be a huge factor tonight. And in late November, you never know. But this is all right. Okay, we'll go to our first break. And when we come back, George Robinson from the Tennessean will join us. This is the George Plaster Show.
When I got my first car, my dad told me, keep the gas tank full and my number on speed dial. Now parents are telling their kids, save 615-242-9000 just in case. I'm Blair Durham. If you or someone you love is in a wreck, call us. We're here to get you the money you deserve.
A golf cart from Mikey's Motors is the perfect way to get around this summer. Whether you're going to the park, the pool, or the playground, do it in a brand new golf cart from Mikey's Motors, Franklin and Murfreesboro.
Summertime fun in Tennessee. That's what we sell at Mikey's Motors. Come see how we roll.
It's easy to say good things about the folks at Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers. Number one, I trust them with something that's near and dear to me, the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night. But more importantly, I see the fun people have. They enjoy the bowling. They enjoy the camaraderie, and you will too. Come by any of their locations and get ready to have some fun. Attention, Big Orange Country. Tennessee and Illinois will square off Saturday, December the 6th at Bridgestone Arena. This is the rematch of a great college basketball game last season in Champaign that went right to the wire. And this one figures to be more of the same. Tickets are on sale now. You can grab your seats by going to Ticketmaster.com. That's Ticketmaster.com. Tennessee, Illinois. It's big time. Illinois.
At Wilson Bank and Trust, we believe you shouldn't have to choose between personal service and digital solutions. As your local independent bank, we're proud to offer the relationships and trusted service you expect, along with the tools and technology that keep you moving forward. So whether you're growing a business, buying a home, or planning for the future, we're here to help. Because this isn't just where we work, it's where we live too. Wilson Bank and Trust, here to get you there. Member FDIC.
Are you looking for expert medical care in Nashville without leaving your home? Medical House Calls brings concierge-level health care directly to your door. Whether you need urgent attention, ongoing primary care, revitalizing IV therapy, or medically guided weight loss, our experienced providers are just a phone call away at 615-838-2375 or go online, medicalhousecalls.com. medicalhousecalls.com.
ESPN Radio lives here. Your sports live here on ESPN 94.9 The Fan.
We're back on this Friday afternoon where supposedly rain will move in in the next 5 minutes, but it looks like it will be gone before 5 p.m. where we are, which is the Fordyce Center in Bellevue. Let's quickly bring George Robinson from the Tennessean to our microphones. He comes on with us each week to sort of preview what all's going on. George, how are you?
I'm doing good. How about you guys?
Good. So a week ago, I hit you cold with the Trent Dilfer rumor, or at least I think it was a week ago. You hearing anything new on that?
No, I haven't heard anything new on it in terms of Coach Dilfer. Now, I have heard that, I think he's made some inquiries about some positions, or the possibility of some positions. But in terms of any specific school, I haven't heard anything. I know a couple of weeks ago, I think you might have talked about, was it Lipscomb Academy?
Lipscomb Academy, yeah.
Yeah, that you had mentioned. I haven't heard that is the case. Maybe he's done some sniffing around, but like I said, Lipscomb Academy had I know they struggled this year, but looking at their region record, I was pretty impressed with what they were able to do. With the limited amount of roster numbers that they had. And, I know Lipscomb County's, used to bigger numbers in terms of their roster, but Coach Jamie Graham, I thought, did about as good of a job you could do with that team that he had. And they had some talent with J.C. White at quarterback and Cam Blivens, obviously, at wide receiver. If they want to if they're looking to bring in somebody like a Trent Dilfer, they're going to have to explain to Jamie Graham why they would want to make that shift.
Yeah. We had Kevin Creasy on just a few minutes ago from Murfreesboro, Oakland, and it is truly remarkable. This will be his, it will be the school's 13th consecutive appearance in the quarterfinals. You watch them a lot. They're the closest thing going to the D word, dynasty. What is it in your mind that has gotten them to this point?
Well, Coach Creasy really, he has a very old school approach where he's a defensive minded guy, and he likes to run the football. The great thing about what he's been able to do at Oakland is he's been able to get a lot of great talent, there at Oakland. I mean, you look at a kid like Joel Wyatt, who's, one of the top high school football players in Tennessee, one of the top college prospects in the state. When he left Webb School, where did he go? I mean, he ended up at Oakland. So, when you win like Oakland does, when you have a coach like Coach Creasy does, you're going to attract a lot of talent. And he's been able to attract a lot of talent. That's not to mention Craig Tutt, who is an Ole Miss commit. That plays running back and linebacker for him. Might play a little bit of safety, but can come down and play linebacker as well. Coach Creasy doesn't like to use a lot of his best talent. He doesn't like to overwork his best talent during the regular season. He'll save them during the regular season and then unleash them in the once the playoffs start. I remember Dwan Morris, who played at Oakland and was a part of those great Oakland teams that continuously go to the state championship game in 6A. A couple of years ago, Dwan Morris, I think, had around 1,100 to 1,200 rushing yards just in the playoffs. Now, this is a kid that could have easily had that during the regular season, but didn't get quite as many carries because Coach Creasy didn't want to wear him out. And then when they got to the playoffs, all bets are off at that point. You run with the horses that you have. And, like I said, Dwan Morris had over, 1,200 yards rushing just in the playoffs alone. So, it looks like it's going to be one of those seasons for Oakland again. They got they'll have a tough matchup against Green Hill, but if you're looking ahead, I don't know, Coach Creasy isn't looking ahead, but if you're looking ahead and, they could be potentially traveling to Maryville to face Maryville in an absolute thriller of a state semifinal game, a potential state semifinal game.
So as you can tell, I'm not in Chattanooga, even though my heart might be for my alma mater, BGA. Talk me through how you think that game goes tonight against a Hall of Fame coach in Gary Rankin.
Yeah. Well, I guess first of all, earlier in the week, I guess I was placed on a tweet, or at least tagged in a tweet, where Coach Rankin was kind of giving his post-game speech after last week's win for Boyd Buchanan. Now, the tweet I was tagged in it because I think people assumed that Coach Rankin was talking about BGA and, playing them physical, and that's how you beat BGA, is playing physical. Yeah, and I don't know the complete context of that video. It does seem like that's what he's referring to, but I'll defer to Coach Rankin. Listen, I think it's going to be a fantastic matchup. You have Bobby Bentley, who may be one of the best may have one of the best offensive minds in high school football in the entire state, and you got Gary Rankin, who's a Hall of Famer. Who, if there's anybody that can figure out how to beat Bobby Bentley, it'll be Gary Rankin. So I'm looking forward to seeing what of course I'm not going to be down there in Chattanooga either, but I'm really anxious to see how that game's going to play out. I think you got two very contrasting styles. You got the physicality of Boyd Buchanan, and you got that kind of wide open offense that Bobby Bentley likes to run at BGA. So I think it's strength versus strength, and we'll see if BGA took offense to any of that stuff on Twitter, and maybe it fires them up.
My suspicion is they did. Let's get to CPA Brentwood Academy for just a second, because this is just a terrific matchup tonight over at BA. In your mind, what decides it?
I think it's going to be decided by the points that BA can put up, and they can put up points in bunches. They got Kayshawn Bowman at wide receiver, 5-star, player, former Oregon commit. But really what and Coach Paul Wade, what he really likes to do is run the football. And they got a terrific running back in Larry Sanders, II. I mean, he's been an absolute monster this year. Hasn't gotten a lot of attention. Probably has played a little bit under the radar, but in terms of talent and consistency and production, this is a kid that's probably close to 1,600 yards rushing. He's just had big game after big game, and then like I said, with Kayshawn Bowman, they like to throw it deep, and that kid can go get it. He's got a ton of speed. He's not a 5-star wide receiver for nothing. So I like CPA, and again, it's kind of like with Gary Rankin. If there's anybody that can figure out how to beat Brentwood Academy, it would be Ingle Martin. Certainly CPA's been to the last 7 state championships in D2 AA. Now they're up in D2 AAA. So, and they have struggled this year. They've been through a brutal schedule. We talked a lot about that this year. But I wouldn't count CPA out. Just don't know if they're going to have enough to keep up with Brentwood Academy. Now I will say, CPA got a huge boost last week with the return of Rawls Patterson, who had collarbone surgery just only a few weeks ago. I was shocked that he was able to return to the field so quickly. And certainly CPA is now in a position to get to their 8th straight state championship game. And that has a lot to do with Coach Ingle Martin's abilities as a coach and to motivate his kids, but also, the return of Rawls Patterson is going to be huge.
George, is this Because we've talked about CPA, and I, for one, am just very shocked that they were able to get to this point because now they're one game away from the state championship. But if you're looking, we've talked about the schedule. Clearly, the talent is still there on the roster. Should we be surprised that they're at this point versus Brentwood Academy?
I wouldn't, because I think, we talked about it. We've talked about it before in weeks past about about how important it is to be able to schedule tough opponents during the regular season to kind of prepare you for this point. Every coach will tell you the importance of having a good non-region schedule that puts you in the position that CPA finds itself in. Now, I guess sometimes the argument could be that that you can create too tough of a schedule. And maybe you can say that about some teams like CPA and Pearl-Cohn and East Nashville that had really, really difficult non-region games, and it makes their record look probably a little bit poorer than what the team would suggest. But if you're looking at just their record, then you're not really getting the full story. So CPA is in this position because they faced some of the best teams around, and that's including schools in Ohio, and they've played really, really good competition. So these playoffs for them, it's just a continuation of what they've already faced. So I'm not surprised by it. I don't think they'll probably have enough to beat Brentwood Academy tonight, but it doesn't surprise me, and it wouldn't surprise me if Ingle Martin pulls off a shocker tonight, against BA.
McCallie and Baylor play again tonight for the second time this season, and this could easily be the state championship matchup, but instead we're getting it in the semifinal round. Who do you like in this one? Do you think Baylor gets it done against their big-time rival for the second time this season?
I am a little, I would say, well, first of all, my gut says yes. I do think Baylor gets it done. I think they got the best player in the state in Gabriel Georges. I think he's hands down the best player, high school football player in the state of Tennessee. So I give the edge to them. But listen, this is a rivalry game. And we all know what rivalry games mean. It doesn't matter how wide the divide is between the talent between the two rival schools. It's usually always going to be a close game, just because those kids are going to be motivated. The McCallie kids, they've beaten Baylor twice in the state championship game. So Baylor has a little bit of motivation to sort of get rid of that stigma that they can't, they haven't been able to win the big one in the past couple of years. I know Coach Eric Kimry is itching to do that. I do think they'll get it done tonight, but I don't think it's going to be easy. It never is easy when Baylor plays McCallie.
Lots of interesting matchups in the private school ranks. We have Lausanne and Franklin Road Academy. Franklin Road Academy is trying to avoid being an exit in the semifinals in back-to-back years. My gut read on this game is that Lausanne is the better team. The game is at FRA, correct?
Yes.
How much of a home field advantage for FRA, or how much of an advantage in general do you think this will provide FRA against a really good Lausanne team?
Well, I will say, Lausanne likes to score the ball. FRA is they're no stranger to teams that like to score. They faced BGA. They beat BGA 14-7. They lost to Antioch in a basketball score that was like 64-62. So FRA can play you however you want to play. They're not going to be familiar with Lausanne, but they are going to be familiar with how quickly Lausanne likes to score points. I don't think that'll be a shock to FRA. Coach Geisinger, he does a really good job of preparing his team. I think there is a little bit of an advantage because you're playing at home. And of course, Lausanne's coming from the Memphis area. So they got that's a 2-hour, 45-minute drive. maybe 3 hours, probably over 3 hours, to face FRA. I know Memphis schools don't traditionally travel great when they come to Middle Tennessee to play high school football playoff games. But usually those losses have come from public schools in Memphis. Private schools usually tend to do a little bit better. I think it's going to be a fight for FRA, but I kind of like FRA in this game. And I would love to see FRA and BGA in the state championship in D2 AA if hopefully Coach Rankin isn't listening and putting me on his 10 most wanted list. But I would love to see FRA and BGA play again and play for the state title in Chattanooga.
So would I.
Of course you would.
Beach and Page. Page is looking to make their 5th straight state championship game. Beach is really good. There's only one combined loss between the two teams. Who's your favorite in this one?
I like Page, but this might be the most difficult matchup that Page has had this year. I don't think anybody they faced this year has the sort of size and power that Beach's quarterback has, Caden Powell. Of course, he's a baseball commit. He'll play college baseball at Kentucky, but as a quarterback, he's a load. He is difficult to bring down. He's got over 1,000 yards rushing. He's close to 1,000 yards rushing. I know he's got over 1,000 yards passing, but he's just very, very difficult to deal with. And then Chelton Swafford, who's their running back, he can provide speed and punch to that offense. I just think Beach is going to have a lot to kind of deal with, or I think Page is going to have a lot to deal with Beach. And I feel like this is going to be a lot closer game than most people maybe expect. I think most people expect Page to win it because they are undefeated. They've been to the past 4 state championship games. I think they're deeper this year than they were last year. And that's saying something. They don't have anybody that really just stands out statistically in terms of just wows you. Because they've really relied on everybody. It's kind of that old cliche where, everybody has contributed to that, to Beach's season, and they're going to need 10 to 11 guys rallying to the football to be able to slow down what Beach can do. Now, the flip side is can Beach's defense keep Page out of the end zone? I don't know if that's the case. I do like Page in this game.
Time for my weekly Green Hill question, but you look at this game on paper and it's hard not to imagine a world in which Oakland's going to win. What does Green Hill have to do to win on the road?
To beat Oakland?
I know it sounds crazy.
They're going to need to score points, which is extremely difficult against a Creasy defense. They're going to need to hope that, I'll be honest with you. I don't see, maybe the weather helps out. Maybe it just rains a ton and the game has to get, suspended for a couple of hours or, messes up Oakland's rhythm or, frustrates, Oakland's offense enough. I just don't see where Green Hill has enough to knock off Oakland. If they do, that would be a major, major upset. Major upset.
Your answer tells me everything I need to know.
Right. I like Green Hill. They're a good team. They got a great quarterback in Cannon Burrows, and Coach Crouch has done a fantastic job, and he's got them to the quarterfinals. I think this is the second time in the program's history. So that's a great team. But man, even Coach Crouch would be like, yeah, I get it. Oakland's the favorite. I understand.
George, I think we got your drift. You think Oakland's going to win, and I'm right there with you. Thank you, as always, for taking the time to come on and join us.
I appreciate it, guys. Can't wait.
George Robinson, read his stuff in the Tennessean. He's very good, as you can tell when he talks all of this with us each and every Friday. After the break, Holly Taylor from Star Physical Therapy will join us. We got some interesting stuff to talk about on the George Plaster Show.
When I got my first car, my dad told me, keep the gas tank full and my number on speed dial. Now parents are telling their kids, save 615-242-9000 just in case. I'm Blair Durham. If you or someone you love is in a wreck, call us. We're here to get you the money you deserve.
Smashville hockey. Around here, it can sound like a language of its own. But hey, if you can pronounce Demumbrian, then names like Yossi, Shea, Marchessault will roll right off the tongue. Nashville Predators, only in Smashville.
Attention, Big Orange Country. Tennessee and Illinois will square off Saturday, December the 6th at Bridgestone Arena. This is the rematch of a great college basketball game last season in Champaign that went right to the wire. And this one figures to be more of the same. Tickets are on sale now. You can grab your seats by going to Ticketmaster.com. That's Ticketmaster.com. Tennessee, Illinois. It's big time. Here's Officer Garen Hoskins for the Metro Nashville Police Department.
The Metro Nashville Police Department is on the forefront of policing in this century, and I'm glad I'm a part of it. I'm glad I get to find other good officers, other future good officers. And if you're watching today, or you yourself or someone you happen to know is interested, join MNPD.com. Feel free to reach out to us because we need good officers, and it's a great city to work for.
The George Plaster Show gets advertisers the results they're looking for. For example, here's Metro Nashville Police Officer Garen Hoskins.
You hear me all the time on the show talk about changes in career, people looking to serve their community and get into law enforcement and join a great department. And I just so happened to meet an individual who heard my segment on your show, has already applied, has come from multiple different career paths, and has always had this dream. And we're very glad to have them. That's just going to be the start of many.
If you want to be part of the Plaster Show advertising family, it's simple. Just email me, plastergeorge@gmail.com. Again, plastergeorge@gmail.com. We will fit your budget and your needs.
It's the George Plaster Show. Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
We are back, rain moving into the area right now, but again, should be gone, it looks like, by no later than 5 o'clock. And then, if the forecast is accurate, up until around 11 p.m. tonight, there shouldn't be any rain. We'll keep our fingers crossed. Now, every week, Holly Taylor joins us from Star Physical Therapy, and we get into a variety of injury kind of things and health tips and all this kind of mess. And today, actually, it was yesterday, she sent me, let's talk dental injuries. I'll just tell you up front, I have no idea where she's going with this. Holly, take it away.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Howdy, I'm good. Hope you are.
I'm great. Yeah, kind of what got me stuck on this is there's been a video going around November 5th. Charlie McAvoy from the Bruins got hit in the face by a pretty wicked slap shot, and you can see his teeth flying out, right? And I'm like, oh, this would be a great thing to talk about. So yeah, when it comes to dental injuries with sports, I mean, it's more common than people think. And kind of the three big ones that you're going to see is either, you're going to get a chip tooth where either a little piece comes off or, you break the tooth in half. Sometimes you can have one that's displaced where it's loose within the socket and maybe rotated around. And then there's the ones where the tooth is completely out. And
So
go ahead.
Yeah,
go ahead.
No, keep going. I'll ask it in a minute.
Okay, yeah. So with a chip tooth, you always want to pick up those parts, put them either in some milk, some saline, some water, because you want to keep anything that comes out, you want to keep it moist in order to save it if it can be saved. Most of the time, people who have a chipped or broken tooth, they can go back in and finish playing, but you really need to get to a dentist within 24 hours in order to try to either reimplant that part that's broken off or help save the tooth that's left. When you have a displaced or partial rotated tooth, you're going to notice it because it's going to be kind of out of position. And so it's either going to be kind of hanging down or it's usually going to be a little lower. And you just want to take your finger and just push it back up into the socket a little bit. You don't necessarily have to rotate it. And then you want to make sure that it's packed in there with some wet tissues or wet towels or something like that. And they need to get to see a dentist right away.
Yeah.
If a tooth has come out all the way, now, if you can do it, the best thing to do is try to put it back into the socket until you can get to the dentist. And it doesn't even matter which direction it's facing as long as you've got it root down. If you're unable to do that, again, that's where you're going to utilize either some water, some milk, some saline to store the tooth in. And that's also like, hey, we need to get to the doctor right away. That's we're not going to finish playing and we're going to find a dentist that does 24-hour care.
So let me ask this. Isn't the first rule of thumb, in particular in football, you got to wear the mouth guard, don't you?
You do. And actually the NFHS requires field hockey, football, ice hockey, and lacrosse. Those are the sports that are mandated for those kids to wear mouth guards, definitely.
So will the mouth guard, because I don't really know this, would the mouth guard completely guarantee that you're not going to have teeth that end up flying out or loosening?
Yeah, I mean, 100% obviously no. That would be a great statistic, but the chance of you having a severe dental injury while wearing a good mouth guard is reduced significantly. And, there's a lot of different products out there in terms of mouth guards as well. The better mouth guard to get is one that either you can mold really well around your own teeth, using the hot water and it's got good product, ingredients to it. Or even the best is honestly going to your dentist and having a personal mouth guard made. Especially, if you're in sports that has a lot of contact or, you've had dental work done before that you need to protect, that's going to be the best one to do.
Okay. Another dumb question. So you're in a high school football game on a Friday night and something happens dentally. But the dentist, he or she isn't back in the office until Monday. Is that too late?
9 times out of 10, yes. A lot of these you want to treat within 24 hours in order to save the tooth. And that's, I encourage people, parents especially, if you've got kids that are in contact sports, talk with your dentist and talk to them to see if they do after hours business. And if they don't, they need to recommend you to somebody that does. And that way you have that number in your back pocket. Most of the athletic trainers around here are going to have some contact information from some local dentists that they can, refer you to. It's never a bad idea to have that information on the front end, just in case you need it instead of trying to call around to, 10, 15 dentists at 11 o'clock at night.
Okay, I'm not going to pretend to act like I know what to ask or I know how to ask it. So I'm going to do it this way. Is there anything I'm not bringing up that you want to bring up?
I think the biggest thing is also just mouth guard care. And I think we see it a lot in football. You walk around practice and the kid has his mouth guard that he's been chewing on for the last, 3 months, and there's nothing left of it. That should be replaced pretty frequently. We try to tell the kids not to do that, right? And keeping your mouth guard clean. And so, it should be cleaned frequently. You should store it in a clean and well-ventilated plastic container. For those who are, maybe the weekend warriors, don't be leaving it in your car where it's exposed to like long-term heat or long-term sunlight, especially in our lovely Tennessee summers. You should examine it daily and replace it if it becomes damaged or it starts to fit loosely.
You've nailed it. or at least I think you've nailed it.
I hope so.
Oh, you did a great job with it. Listen, thank you. It looks like it's going to be pretty warm tonight. Stay dry. How about that?
That's right. And good luck to everybody tonight. I hope everybody has great games.
Absolutely. That's Holly Taylor with Star Physical Therapy. You tell Kelly I said hello.
Yes, sir. I sure will.
That's Kelly Ziegler I'm talking about, former University of Tennessee linebacker who Holly works with. Okay, Holly, thank you. Let's sort of shift gears now and get into players who are going to matter tonight in round 3 for a lot of the schools in the TSSAA playoffs.
Let's start with one that's close to the heart of George Plaster, and that is BGA as they take on Boyd Buchanan. Boyd Buchanan is undefeated on the year, and they have a very good defense. BGA, 1 loss on the year. So another one of these matchups where there's one combined loss between the two teams. Caden Marable is going to have to be. He doesn't have a choice. He has to play very well against Boyd Buchanan tonight. This is going to be one of my favorite games of the evening. So very looking forward to seeing who comes out on top. McCallie and Baylor. George Robinson touched on this one. This is probably the main card of all the high school football games tonight. Baylor has a running back by the name of David Gabriel Georges. He is Canadian. He has not lived in the U.S. really, I don't think since his freshman year of high school. That's when he came over to the States. The University of Tennessee is coming after him really hard, among other schools. Ohio State, Michigan, I know are in there as well. McCallie has a very good defense. If you've ever watched David Gabriel Georges play, it's like seeing I think he's got compared to Todd Gurley at the high school level. So he's just a freak of nature. So obviously that's who I'm going to go with.
Okay, stop there for a second. Because there's a part of me, first of all, that'll make jokes about, when McCallie and Baylor play, they'll start with the Canadian national anthem and then they'll get around to, the one that matters. What is it I'm missing that parents are sitting there going, sure, head on down to the States and play high school football? Really?
They want to play for a good football program, and I guess want their kids to have the best shot of going to a Division I school.
Do you not find that a little? You think your parents would have allowed that?
I do, but it would have had to take some strong convincing.
See, I don't think mine would have. I think mine would have said, you know what? Academics comes first. Of course, they had no reason to think there was any athletic ability.
My mom barely wanted me to go to Chicago, so
yeah,
that's a good point by you.
I mean, in high school, that we're just all going to matriculate from Canada on down.
I know they have a host family.
Play the Canadian national anthem at the McCallie Baylor game.
They have a host family. I know that, but they have to really trust that host family. So,
good Lord.
Yeah. Brentwood Academy and CPA play tonight. I'm not going to mention any Brentwood Academy players because they are clearly going to be the big favorites. CPA, if we're just looking at box scores and paper, should not be here, but they are. They got hot at the right time. They have a running back by the name of Rawls Patterson. Now, Rawls Patterson had 300 yards rushing in last year's state championship game. However, they weren't in the same division that they are in now. They have since bumped up, and they're playing Brentwood Academy, who is the favorite to make the state championship game, probably versus Baylor, if I had to guess. CPA is going to have to rely on the run game. I think that is the weakest part of that Brentwood Academy defense is their run defense, but it's still pretty good because they're undefeated for a reason. If CPA wants to have any chance of beating Brentwood Academy, it's going to have to be through Rawls Patterson. And I have one more. Marshall County takes on Pearl Cone. This one we actually didn't get to talk about with George Robinson. Marshall County has the reigning Mr. Football player in 4A. His name is Tyler Thompson. He's their quarterback. Pearl Cone is going to be the heavy favorite in this one. They're almost like Pearl Cone's almost like the Cincinnati Bengals because they start the season off really slow, but then as the season rolls along, they get hotter and hotter and hotter. And
exactly how have the Bengals done that?
Well, they've done it in previous years, not this year.
Not this
because they don't
year.
have Joe Burrow.
No, they don't. Although it sounds like they're getting him Sunday.
Yeah, it does. Don't spoil my update. I was going to include that.
Okay.
Marshall County has, again, the reigning Mr. Football and Tyler Thompson. That offense runs through him. It's no secret. Pearl Cone is, again, major favorite. Tyler Thompson's going to have to be big.
Okay. So hour number 1 is in the books. The 4 o'clock hour will go this way. Yeah, we will do stat of the day, although certainly that will not be the highlight of the show. Then Terry McCormick with his daily Titans update. Watson Brown will join us around 4:20 because we got a big weekend of college football, and then my picks. All of that on the George Plaster Show.
Get the most out of Black Friday this year at Electronic Express. With the lowest prices of the season on appliances, TVs, computers, gaming, and more. We make it easy with free delivery and flexible payment options, like 24 months interest-free.
If you are paying too much for your health insurance, you know what? You need to contact the folks at Pancoast Benefits. Pancoast works with businesses and individuals to tackle the high cost of health insurance. Whether you're a business owner, large or small, self-employed, between jobs, or over the age of 65 and in need of a Medicare plan, Pancoast can help. They make understanding your benefits less difficult and more personal. So check them out today, pancoastbenefits.com, or call them at 615-292-3400. Venture Express has been helping people in this area for more than 40 years. They're headquartered in Murfreesboro with over 30 years of dedicated fleets involving production, manufacturing, and corrugated experiences. They're an asset-based company with over 700 tractors, 4,000 trailers, and 800 drivers. If you need their help, dial them up 615-793-9500 or log on to ventureexpress.com. Over 700 tractors, 4,000 trailers, and 800. You've heard me talk about the putting zone. Well, guess what? It's now open, and it offers a revolutionary indoor golf experience featuring state-of-the-art putting surfaces designed to replicate real-world course conditions. It allows players of all skill levels to practice, compete in tournaments, and connect year-round. Go by and see them at 3040 Sidco Drive and tell them Plaz sent you. Great way to spend the holiday season with family and friends. It's located at 3040 Sidco Drive near 100 Oaks. Get ready to improve your golf game.
The perfect gift. Lavish and luxurious, yet affordable. Breathtaking and joy-inspiring, yet simple for you. The gift card from A Moment's Peace. A spa day she customizes exactly the way she wants. Give her the gift she won't buy herself. An escape, a bit of luxury, something special that shows how much you care. A gift card from A Moment's Peace Salon and Day Spa. Call 615-224-0770 or go online at amomentspeace.com.
At Volunteer Hose and Gasket, they're not just about products, they're about solutions. If you need a custom cut gasket or a hard to find hydraulic hose, they got it. From industrial hoses to hydraulic fittings and custom cut gaskets, their stock is vast and versatile. Plus, their 24/7 emergency service means they're here whenever you need them. Visit one of their locations in Nashville and Murfreesboro or online at volunteerhose.com. Volunteer Hose and Gasket, sealing your success with every connection.
Tennessee has lots of buried pipelines, so it's important to know the signs of a leak, like if you smell unusual odors or hear hissing. Ew. See bubbling earth or water, or dead or dying vegetation. Some signs are even harder to miss, like dirt being blown into the air, a frost ball in an open field, or a flame coming from the ground. If you see any of these signs, don't wait. Leave the area immediately and call 911 or your pipeline company. For more tips on pipeline safety, visit pipesafety.org. A message from the Tennessee Gas Association, Tennessee Association of Broadcasters, and this station.
Your sports live here. WBUZ HD3 Laverne. All around the world on the Game Nashville app. We are the Game Nashville Sports Network. ESPN 94.9. The Fan.
It's the George Plaster Show. Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
Now time for our stat of the day, brought to you by Apple Collision Centers. The Bills look like they're in danger of missing the playoffs. When was the last time that happened?
I'm going to go with 2008.
2008.
Yeah, that's a long time ago. That doesn't seem really realistic. Let me rethink that one for a minute. Let me go 2014.
2014?
Yeah.
That seems more reasonable. 2018. Josh Allen's first year, his rookie year.
He got pummeled last night. I have never seen Josh Allen hit as hard and hit as often as he was last night. The Texans' defense last night was really good. Buffalo is in deep doo-doo. They have got some problems. Their defense sucks, and we knew that going into the game. But to watch that offensive line, as good as he is and as mobile as he is, and they never get him out of the pocket and move him around last night to try to help him at all, it looked to me like Buffalo just said, Josh Allen, you are Superman. Figure it out.
It almost looked like a Joe Burrow situation. 8 sacks last night. Unbelievable. Houston's defense is incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is. Okay. Time now for the official start of the 4 o'clock hour. From the Fordyce Center in Bellevue, we bring you Terry McCormick's Daily Titans Update. Terry, of course, is Main Street Media and TitanInsider.com. Terry, I know there was a big ceremony over at the new Nissan Stadium. Not that we were invited, but what the hell?
Yeah, Commissioner Roger Goodell, Governor Bill Lee. I was told that I was invited, but my invitation apparently got lost in the emails. I didn't get it. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah. Whatever. So what came out of it? Anything of any importance?
The most important thing was Goodell confirming that Nashville is a Super Bowl caliber city, once the new stadium is completed. So I would expect them to jump into that Super Bowl rotation and get one probably within the first 3 years the stadium's open.
Yeah. So that is good news. And God help those people that have to buy the tickets, because they are going to pay dearly for the fact that the capacity is only 60,000. But on to the empty seats that we will see this weekend. Seattle is in town. They are one of the 3 or 4 best teams in the NFL. Terry, I don't see a path where this is all that close. Do you?
No, I mean, I don't think this is going to be a close game. And plus, you've got a Sam Darnold, who's probably not very happy with himself after tossing 4 interceptions against the Rams last Sunday. So he's going to want to atone for that. And I would expect the Seahawks to come out firing on all cylinders. And the Titans, shorthanded as they are, probably not going to be able to put up much of a fight.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about where all that injury stuff is right now, who's definitely out and who's likely out.
Well, definitely out is Alec Eilmanor, Xavier Woods, and Kendall Brooks. 3 other guys questionable, and that would be Corey Levin, Darrell Baker, and Khalil Mullins. So they're questionable to go. I'd expect, given that they only have 4 receivers on the active roster right now, that Xavier Restrepo is probably going to make his debut on Sunday, from what indications I'm getting are.
Terry, obviously there's some interest in him because he and Cam Ward were a pretty good little duo at Miami. From what you've been told, what is it that has held him back from being on the roster? Because let's face it, this is not exactly Jerry Rice and John Taylor. This is a horrible receiving core. And if he can't make this one, that kind of says somebody doesn't think he's very good.
Yeah, I think it's a couple things. One, the 40 time and being, running that 4.8 40, even if it was with the bum hamstring, is something that's not going to ingratiate you to, NFL general managers and coaches. So it's going to be a situation where you're kind of coming in with that working against you, plus not a very big guy. And then third is he's, not bringing a lot to the table on special teams. So when you got all 3 of those things working against you, it's hard to find playing time.
Yeah. Anything else you want to leave us with?
Well, that's about it. I mean, like I said, the Seahawks coming in here on Sunday, one of the top contending teams, as you mentioned, George, they're, second in a very strong NFC West. And, it's, kind of bad luck of the draw. What the Titans have been up against this year, they drew the NFC West, which is good, the AFC West, except for the Raiders, and then inside their own division, the Colts have surprised everybody, the Texans have gotten it back on track, and the Jaguars are above 500. So they have picked a very terrible year to play this schedule, and that in a lot of years wouldn't have been nearly this bad.
It wouldn't have mattered.
No, probably not. But, they may have squeezed another win or 2 out somewhere. But I don't see very many opportunities coming down the pike for this team.
Yeah. Sunday looks a little grim. Seattle's really good. Terry, thank you as always. We'll check back in on Monday to get the very latest.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks.
That's Terry McCormick, and that is our Daily Titans update. He is Main Street Media.
Our Daily Titans update leads to one thing, that is America's favorite update, brought to you by the Tennessee-Illinois basketball game, Saturday, December 6th at Bridgestone Arena. Tickets are now on sale at Ticketmaster.com. The Lane Kiffin drama continues as he met with Ole Miss Athletic Director Keith Carter today, and there is a set date for his decision. It'll be the Sunday after the Egg Bowl.
Keep going on that.
Well, that was the date that I guess they had come to in the meeting. I still need to read up more on it, but that is what I saw. Florida LSU obviously still playing a large role in this, but he met with Keith Carter today, and that they have decided that he's going to give a definite answer by the time they have played the Mississippi State game. The Sunday after, that's when his decision is going to be made.
I wonder if that's really how it went down.
I wonder too. And I really think Lane Kiffin, and I usually don't defend Lane Kiffin a whole lot, but I think because of the way the college football calendar is set up, he really doesn't have a choice. He has to make his mind up during the season while his team's still playing, because if you're going to go to another school, Think about when the transfer portal window opens, and think about when high school recruiting, when you have to have all that wrapped up. The calendar is all out of whack, so the coaches have to make these types of decisions in season, which isn't fair.
Well, give me a violin, okay? I mean, if you think that I'm going to give you a big sympathy vote on that, forget it.
They just need to fix the calendar. That's what I'm saying.
Well, they do need to fix the calendar, and that's a problem no matter when you do it. But Lane Kiffin, and probably with some aid from Jimmy Sexton, they've been playing little games.
Who you know very well.
I do know Jimmy very well. I have a lot of respect for Jimmy. Jimmy is an absolute A++ negotiator. He fleeced Alabama out of a bunch of extra money when they created that whole Nick Saban to Texas stuff. Don't be shocked when they've created some of this, because let's face it, if that's not the way it went down, for his family to get caught in Baton Rouge and Gainesville is incredibly stupid, unless that's really what they wanted to have happen.
Yep. No, he's sly. Jimmy Sexton is one sly man, one that I would not want to negotiate with because he's very good at what he does. Baylor head coach Dave Aranda, it was announced by On3 today that he is going to return for the 2026 season.
So my gut feeling about this is you got total turmoil going on at Baylor. You've got Mack Rhodes, the AD, kind of being blown out of there in the last 48 hours for some stuff that really we're not getting a lot of explanation. But behind the scenes, there's some crazy stuff going on at Baylor. But you know what? I think Aranda turned out to be the winner because I think he was going to get fired otherwise.
Yeah.
They haven't been very good.
No, I'd say he was on the hot seat this year.
Oh, definitely. No doubt.
So Terry kind of touched on this a little bit, but there were clips all over Twitter, social media today that Roger Goodell has hinted that Nashville will host a Super Bowl in the near future.
Yeah, I mean, they should. This is a Super Bowl city. When I look back to the 30 years that I've been a part of this, there was a time we didn't have enough hotels for it. That problem has gone away. We now have a stadium that guarantees that weather would not be an issue in and around the Super Bowl. So let's be a smartass about it. Why the hell not?
Agreed. You're not going to hear a disagreement from me on that one.
Thank you.
Jackson Dart still in concussion protocol for the Giants. He is officially ruled out against the Lions on Sunday.
Yeah, and the Giants have got to be really careful. One of the things that didn't look real good was Jackson Dart's had a lot of concussion stuff, and Brian Daboll seemed a lot more interested in saving his job than he did on the health of Jackson Dart. Well, now that the Daboll thing has been decided and he's out the door, they better protect this investment, period.
You spent a first-round pick on him, and I've been worried. One, the way he plays is very dangerous, but two, if you watch, that Thursday night game where Brian Daboll was doing whatever he could to get Jackson Dart out of the medical tent, that scares me.
That didn't look good at all.
That scares me, and they got fined for it. So
yeah.
Sam Laporta, the tight end for the Lions, had back surgery today, and he is done for the rest of the year.
Okay, stop there, because under the scenario of problems that the Lions have got, one of the problems they've got right now is that Jared Goff, this has been sort of a security blanket for him. Laporta is a really good tight end. You can work him down the middle in seams. You can have him go down 10 and turn around. Whatever the case, he's been at the top of Jared Goff's security blanket list. With him gone, that's a big loss for them.
A huge loss. He was definitely, you can make the case, a top 4 or 5 tight end in the game. So big loss. Never easy. And then think about the Packers, who were also in their division losing Tucker Kraft, who was playing like the best tight end in football, probably next to Trey McBride. So not a not a small loss for the Lions. We'll do a quick college basketball recap. Actually, right now, Wisconsin and BYU are playing in Utah right now. A top 25 matchup.
Well, that's wonderful.
On Peacock. And I believe BYU has the lead. I'll have to double check. Vanderbilt.
I will check that out here in a second. Go ahead.
Vanderbilt scored 100-plus points for the fourth time this season versus Texas Southern last night. They're 5-0.
Hold on. BYU leads Wisconsin 47-36, about 18 minutes to go in that game. Vandy looks like they're really good. So far, their non-conference schedule at home is kind of a joke.
Yeah, do you think that we will see Vanderbilt ranked? I know the coaches poll had them ranked last week, but the AP did not.
I don't know. I don't know how much weight you can put on what you're seeing so far.
Yeah, Texas
Southern
0-5
is just this side of a high school.
The Vols have had a very easy non-conference schedule, just like Vanderbilt. They're 5-0 after an 89-60 victory over Tennessee State last night. But they're getting ready to run the gauntlet as Feast Week approaches.
In what way?
They have Rutgers, Houston, Louisville, and one other team in there mixed in there.
Illinois in a couple of weeks.
Illinois.
Here.
So not an easy.
Yeah.
You had your cupcakes, and now you get to the meat of your schedule.
Yeah, and different coaches handle it different ways as far as getting a team ready for a season. And I don't know the perfect route, but Memorial Gym has been pretty empty so far. And the home games that they have played so far here, it's not a murderer's row.
No. So it's Rutgers on Monday, Houston on Tuesday, and that's all that they'll play during Feast Week. They'll have Syracuse the following week versus Illinois versus Louisville.
Vandy has played at home Lipscomb, Eastern Kentucky, Arkansas, Pine Bluff, and Texas Southern.
No signature wins in there.
You're not going to get any out of that group.
Purdue beat Memphis, Georgia's Memphis State Tigers, in the Baha Mar Championship in the Bahamas last night. It was actually a pretty good game.
It hit me as I was watching it. The last game I ever did at Memphis State was an NCAA tournament game against Purdue, who was ranked number 1 in the country. We played them neutral site in the NCAA tournament at Notre Dame. And it hit me in the second half. I was like, dang, Memphis State and Purdue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So when would this have been?
March of 88.
March of 88.
Yeah.
Huh.
Purdue at the time was number 1 in the country. They did not win it. Danny Manning's Kansas team, I think, ended up winning it.
Okay. Texas Tech on the other side won over Wake Forest, and this was probably even a better game, 84-83, and Texas Tech will play Purdue tonight, so we'll get a top 15 matchup. But think about it, George, it's only November, and we're getting all these ranked versus ranked matchups in college basketball.
Yeah, it's becoming a really long season because it's now fully November, fully December, January, February, conference play. Ooh.
Yep.
That's a long season.
Rick Pitino was actually talking about this, how much steam college basketball has gained over the years in popularity. And I think it's because of matchups like this. You're getting them so early on, it forces people to pay attention.
Oh, I think it's the other way around. I think it's because it's football season. It goes over everybody's head. Unless you're really into it.
Yeah, that is.
And I hate that because there are some great matchups right now. You're right.
And with the expansion of the playoff too, it ends mid-January, and
it makes it hard on college basketball.
Yeah. No, definitely.
You're done?
That's it for my update.
Okay, after the break, we'll go to Cookeville, Tennessee. Coach Watson Brown will join us on the George Plaster Show.
When I got my first car, my dad told me, Keep the gas tank full and my number on speed dial. Now parents are telling their kids, save 615-242-9000 just in case. I'm Blair Durham. If you or someone you love is in a wreck, call us. We're here to get you the money you deserve.
A golf cart from Mikey's Motors is the perfect way to get around this summer. Whether you're going to the park, the pool, or the playground, do it in a brand new golf cart from Mikey's Motors, Franklin and Murfreesboro.
Summertime fun in Tennessee. That's what we sell at Mikey's Motors. Come see how we roll.
Attention, Big Orange Country. Sports and Social in Green Hills Mall is the new home for our Football Night in Nashville promotion. Their food is terrific. Their TV setup looks like a race and sports book in Vegas. And if you're a sports fan, you can't beat it. Starting September the 4th, we'll broadcast from Sports and Social every Thursday night. There's Pop-A-Shot, great football, and the chance to win a beautiful Mikey's Motors golf cart. See you at Sports and Social in Green Hills Mall. Attention, Big Orange Country. Tennessee and Illinois will square off Saturday, December the 6th at Bridgestone Arena. This is the rematch of a great college basketball game last season in Champaign that went right to the wire. And this one figures to be more of the same. Tickets are on sale now. You can grab your seats by going to Ticketmaster.com. That's Ticketmaster.com. Tennessee, Illinois. It's big time. Are you looking for expert medical care in Nashville without leaving your home? Medical House Calls brings concierge-level health care directly to your door. Whether you need urgent attention, ongoing primary care, revitalizing IV therapy, or medically guided weight loss, our experienced providers are just a phone call away at 615-838-2375 or go online, medicalhousecalls.com. It's easy to say good things about the folks at Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers. Number one, I trust them with something that's near and dear to me, the Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night. But more importantly, I see the fun people have. They enjoy the bowling, they enjoy the camaraderie, and you will too. Come by any of their locations and get ready to have some fun. Annual Plaster and Friends Celebrity Bowling Night.
ESPN Radio lives here. Your sports live here on ESPN 94.9 The Fan.
Okay, we are back. Rain at the moment, but it looks like by around 5 o'clock in the Nashville, Middle Tennessee area that it should be dying down. And then at that point, again, no rain now until around 1 a.m. is what my little weather gizmo is saying. So here's hoping that tonight in round 3 of the high school football playoffs that it turns out okay and everybody can have a good, clean game without the weather being a big issue. Let's go to Cookeville, Tennessee. We say hello to Watson Brown for our weekly Friday visit. Watson, I hope you're doing well.
Doing well, George. We're not getting rain, but it's like you used to say, when Memphis gets this, we'll get it in 4 hours. I guess if you've got a little rain, we'll get it in a few hours up this way.
That was a big rallying cry when I was at BGA. 4 inches of 4 inches of snow in Memphis moving this way. And the truth of it is we had no idea whether there was any snow anywhere.
No, but believe me, you found ways to get out of school.
Oh, God knows we tried. Yeah. So I want to get your thoughts about Oklahoma, because I think we all tried to write Oklahoma off about a month ago after Texas drubbed them. But they've gone to Tennessee and won. They've gone to Alabama and won. And what you've seen is rock-solid defense, the best field goal kicker in the country, and a Mateer who looks healthier. If those three are true, Are they a national title factor or kind of a one-hit wonder?
No, I think it's all off of Mateer. I don't think he's back. I knew he wouldn't be, but he's getting better. And every week that goes by, I see him a little bit more aggressive. The ball coming out of his hand with a little more spin on it. So I think it's all off him. If he gets back to the way he was playing before he broke that thumb, look out, because that defense is bona fide. They have a very aggressive scheme that's hard to deal with. When they get in third and long or second and long, their pressures are really, really good with really good people. And they've got some cover guys that I really like, and they have a defensive front that is maybe as good as there is in the country. So, yeah, but I think it's off Mateer, and I don't think the way he's playing just yet, the way he played in Knoxville and the way he played in Alabama, I'm proud of the kid. I'm proud of the young man because I think he's played through some quick pain. And I've told you before, I've had one of my starting quarterbacks broke a thumb. Matter of fact, I've had two do it, one at East Carolina and one at UAB. And no way in 2 weeks' time they were playing. I would have bet the house that Texas beat them that week, that he should not have played in that game. But he's getting a little better. Both of my two guys, it was a solid 6 weeks before they were back to where they looked like themselves some. He's getting close to that now.
Watson, they've got a schedule that gives them a real shot to win these last two and simply get into the playoff. But on the other hand, boy, there was a lot of emotion in Tuscaloosa around that win. Do you worry at all that Oklahoma will have a letdown against a Missouri that they can't have a letdown?
No, Missouri's really good on defense. Missouri probably has done as good a job against Vanderbilt as anybody all year. Texas, I thought, did up to the 4-minute mark of the game left, and then they just folded the tent. Missouri loses their quarterback in the first series of the third quarter, but I worry about them scoring enough points. They're very good on defense. They don't throw the ball very well. When they can run it, look out. Nobody has run the ball on Oklahoma, really, all year long. So I do worry about the timing of this game. The Norman crowd will be unbelievable. They're a great fan base. And really, when they get it going, they're a fantastic fan base. And so I think it would take a lot for Missouri to beat them. I think what would have to happen, in my opinion, they run the ball better than anybody has on Oklahoma all year, and Mateer doesn't play well. That's the way Missouri could win the game.
Watson, you got Tennessee in a position where they've now known for about 3 weeks they're not getting in the playoff. That creates one set of issues. Then you've got Boo Carter, who decides to act like a fool and not even show up for a game when he's injured. Do you worry at all that Tennessee goes down to Florida tomorrow in a deal where over the last 20 years, that's a blood and guts, we hate each other game, and tomorrow night Tennessee kind of comes in flat?
No, I don't think they'll come in flat at all. I think rival games picks everybody up. Last week was a game where everybody's a little down on them, but that was a get the game over with game. I mean, they were not ready to play. They're disappointed from what happened against Oklahoma. Playing a rival and have lost 10 times in a row there will get them up. I think they will play. I think they'll look really good Saturday night, tomorrow night. But Florida sold the place out with no coach. So that tells you what this rivalry means right here. So it will be, the swamp will be wild because those fans are not Tennessee fans whatsoever. I think it's going to be the best game of the weekend. I think it'll go to the wire, but I think Tennessee will absolutely be ready to play, and I think Florida will too. I think Florida just absolutely didn't show at Kentucky. They played really hard against Georgia, and they thought that the Ole Miss coach was probably going to be their coach. I think they went to Ole Miss and played really hard in that one. They will play really hard, and this is going to be the best game to watch of the weekend. That's my prediction. I think Tennessee will win in a very close game.
So Watson, let me kind of go off the field a little bit. So when the Penn State job opened up, Indiana jumped. I mean, within like 96 hours, and they've got a contract extension, and Kurt Signetti is taken off the market.
Yep.
Vandy, you know full well Clark Lee is on some teams' list. Why am I not hearing contract extension?
I don't know. I mean, that goes both ways. Look at Ole Miss right now. They put one out there quick, and Lane hadn't signed it. So you don't know how it's going behind closed doors and what's going on. It works both ways. I can remember getting a contract extension during the season from a school, and I didn't sign it. And lo and behold, he ended up leaving. We won't go into which one or why or whatever, but it happens. And so I don't know which way that's going. There's really been very little talk about it. There's been a whole lot more talk about the Ole Miss one. And supposedly Lane was supposed to meet with them today. Normally to me, when things get to this point and there hadn't been one signed, look out, there may be something in the works. But I just hate to comment on it because I know how these goes because I've been an AD that's tried to keep people. I tried to keep Mike Anderson when I was at UAB and was able to, but man, it was a war. I'm telling you, Tennessee came, Miami came, Auburn came. I went through a bunch to keep him. And then after I left, he ended up leaving and going to Missouri, I think it was, is where he went first. But you just don't know, George. I don't want to take shots at anybody on this because I just don't know what's going on. And it may be a negotiation that they haven't settled yet, that they are in contract talks. We just don't know. So things I don't know, I just really be careful to talk about. But I do know a lot of crap goes on when you get in these seasons late and on both ends, because I've done both ends.
Okay. You and I both know Jimmy Sexton.
Very well.
I would contend that he masterminded several years ago a Nick Saban to Texas rumor that ultimately got Saban a lot more money. It certainly got Jimmy some more money. And I wonder if that's going on right now in the Ole Miss situation where Lane Kiffin has a job, has a team headed toward a playoff, even though they look like crap against Florida. First of all, if he were to call you and he said, I can have either Florida or LSU, in your mind, which one's the better job?
I think it's toss-up. They're both fantastic. They're both fantastic football jobs, and can win national championships at either one of them. Both are in great states for football, with great states close to them that they can recruit also, and that's so big. LSU sitting there with Texas right close to them. Florida sitting there with Georgia and Alabama right close to them. I mean, even Mississippi. I mean, they're both really, really good. And I have dealt with Jimmy. Jimmy was Mike Anderson's agent when I had to keep Mike and work to keep Mike at UAB. So I've dealt with Jimmy, and I'm going to tell you, he is really good. He is really good. And I'm telling you, so whoever's Jimmy's got, good things could happen for those guys. I'm telling you.
Yeah. So, okay, let me try it this way, because this is a way you can answer it. Can a coach cry wolf one time too often and a fan base say, you know what, screw you, go?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think you better be really careful as a coach. And yes, and I've dealt with that both ways. I've dealt with it myself when I'd leave too quick, and I knew it and regretted it till this day at 75 years old. There's a move I made that was way too quick, and I shouldn't have done it. And then it's the opposite, George. You keep messing with jobs every year. I mean, every year, believe me, it wears on them. And they kind of put it in the back of their minds, fans do. And then when things turn a little bit, look out. They come out of the woodwork after you. I think it gets personal with fans, much more personal maybe than when I was a coach that you think it does. But it gets personal. You mess with their school and what their pride of their school, and man, it can get personal. So yes, I think these coaches in today's world need to be careful. And I used to tell coaches this, George, as assistants that I'd have that would come to me at the end of years, and I've always told my guys, hey, you give me a year and it's time for you, I'll even help you. Well, they'd come and they'd want to apply for every job. This is a little different, but it leads to back to this same thought. And I said, guys, you get to where you apply for everything, nothing is serious. And so when you put your name in something forever and then you don't take anything, that turns off people coming back to you again to want to hire you. And then when you keep putting yourself deep in these things, then your own fan base gets you. So I've always felt, stay behind the scenes. Don't go after something that you really don't want. Don't keep your name in something just to try to get an extra little bit of money. Go for the money if you can, but when it starts getting real public, I think you should pull out if you're not going to go there. And I don't see these guys doing that. I just don't see it. And I think that's a mistake a lot of them are making.
Okay, I've put a theory out there this week, and I don't think anybody's buying it, but here goes. To me, Ole Miss looked like crap Saturday night. Defensively, that's no more. What I saw last Saturday night, I put that in the Georgia Tech category. That's not a national title defense or anywhere close to it. He's not stupid. He saw the same thing I did. Is it possible that he may have started out saying, I love Ole Miss, I'm happy, I'm this, I'm that, and after Saturday night he said, whoa, wait a minute. This is the best team I'll ever have here, and they're simply not good enough?
Well, maybe. Again, I can't put my brain in his, but I do know they're not very good on defense. But there's teams that are winning with really good offense and not good defenses, and there's teams doing the opposite, but they're still right where he is, and he's in the top 8. And George, I don't see anybody, including Ohio State. I see nobody that's going to just say, hey, they're winning it all this time. I don't see it. Georgia keeps jumping up there, and their defense hasn't been very good. Their offense has been very good. They get a little better on defense. Vanderbilt's up there. Their defense is not near as good as their offense, not anywhere close to as good, but they keep hanging around and winning games. So I don't know. I just don't see it this year. Would that be one of the reasons that I think he would think about leaving? No. I think he's thinking future and what's best for me, and I don't think it would be off of something that's on his football team this year that's not good enough. George, the other thing to me is these coaches are starting to understand the Indianas of the world. You don't have to have that T on the side of your helmet or that Longhorn or that OU or the numbers from the Alabama or the G from Georgia anymore. If you've got money, you can get up there with them and you can stay with them. And if you keep that money going every year, you can stay there every year. This is a different world now. That's why it's not to me to where if it wasn't the way it is now, do you think the guy at Indiana would have stayed when he had a chance to go to Penn State? No. But he knows that he is loaded and he's got the pieces he needs to win games. That's why I think these middle of the pack jobs now, like maybe some will get mad at me, but kind of what Ole Miss is, really isn't that anymore.
Interesting. Okay, really quick before I turn it to Parker. Does Kentucky give Vandy a scare?
No. You got to score points to beat Vanderbilt. You got to keep the ball and score points. They're not a good enough offense to score enough points. Vanderbilt's going to win that one. I think they're going to win it pretty big. They've had an open day. They're a whole lot fresher. Kentucky's hurt. They do have injuries, and on defense where they don't need them. I don't think they can stay with them, no.
Parker, your witness.
Watson, I wanted to touch on the point you made about Ole Miss, because I really think, you have your blue bloods in college football. I really think that status, being a blue blood, matters less and less in this world of NIL and transfer portal, because now we're seeing a Texas Tech team who bought their entire roster, and we've seen players and coaches, go out and buy their teams, and it hasn't worked out for them. Colorado being a perfect example. Texas Tech found a way to buy their entire team, but yet still develop that team aspect and that chemistry. So if Texas Tech and Indiana, they were able to figure that out, I believe Lane Kiffin would be able to figure it out at Ole Miss. Don't think they'll win the national championship this year, but I still think he could win one theoretically at Ole Miss.
Absolutely. They win one at Indiana. Indiana's the perfect example right now because they're ranked number 2 in the country. They're right there. And the times I've watched them, that quarterback is right there with Pavia and some of the better ones in the country right now. I mean, he's making play after play after play, and Indiana is very solid on defense, very solid. So you're 100% right. I've said it to George back years ago when this all first started. I said where this NIL and transfer portal, where it's going to help Parker the teams the most, is the middle down. The top ones are going to stay there. The middle downs are fixing to jump up if they're willing to really throw the right kind of money into this. And they got a coach that knows how to handle the money with the right kind of players.
Sure.
That's a piece of this too. And I do think coaches should get credit. It's not just the money that's done it. You got to have a coach that takes that money, puts it in the right kind of guys, and bring them in and put a team together quick. Because the way we used to do it, you build a team through about 3 and about the 4th year. When you got juniors and seniors, you're good. Well, now it's 1 year. It's a total different kind of build. And the good teams are doing it. Florida State has not been able to do that. They've got big money. And
that's
yet
another example. Yeah.
So it's not just the money. You've got to have a coach that understands how to go about this too.
I talked to Clark Lee earlier this week, and I asked him, because I watched the college football playoff rankings reveal show. Vanderbilt came in at number 14, and Greg McElroy made a great point that Vanderbilt may have hit their ceiling in terms of ranking. Now, if Vanderbilt wins out, clearly they would have a playoff resume, but they still might need some outside help. So I asked Clark Lee, is there any nervous energy? Are you guys even thinking about that even a little bit? And, he gave me the typical coach speak answer, which I totally expected. But I wanted to ask you, are those players talking about that in the locker room?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely they are. I mean, that's the goal, man. The goal of college football has totally changed. It used to be to get to the Orange Bowl and the Sugar Bowl, and then it was getting the top 4. And now you're not successful in the minds of everybody if you're not in the playoffs. It's the playoffs, and then everybody else kind of, okay, good year, guys. And so, yeah, they're thinking about it, and they're not in now. But I was a little surprised at the teams that were put in front of them. Oklahoma really hurt. I mean, that really hurt.
That was the killer.
My gosh, who in the world has beaten Tennessee and Alabama back-to-back weeks on the road? On the road to do that. So, but they beat Kentucky. That's not going to do a lot. Stay healthy. Beating Tennessee and Knoxville will shoot them up. I don't know if it can pass them, but if some of these others maybe win but don't look pretty doing it, they might jump up in front. So I don't think this is a shut, closed door yet. It's going to depend on what BYU, Utah, Oklahoma. There's some right there that are in front of them. And I think watch Miami. I think Miami could lose Saturday to Virginia Tech. You never know. Virginia Tech has not been very good, but Miami has a way of going on the road and just not showing. So let's watch that one a little bit. But you come right there talking about not just in Vanderbilt's locker room, in every locker room. Now, coaches aren't. I don't think they are. I don't think they're going from, well, we need to beat this one. We need to beat this one by this amount. I don't think they're doing any of that. I think they're doing it the way coaches do it. Get ready for this one. We'll worry about the big orange next week. But no, but the players are. You can bet your butt on that.
They're doing it at somebody's apartment.
Yeah, they're doing it everywhere, George. They're doing it at the Crystal. They're doing it wherever they are. They're doing it with their girlfriend. I mean, they got two guys going out and taking two of their girlfriends to the movie. They're sitting talking about it in the movie. I mean, it's big, and it's such a big difference of getting in and not getting in. And because the goals have changed, it's all to get in that 12 now. Period. And going to the bowl is all fine and dandy, but it's second best, and it's a far away second best.
The Gator Bowl is the NIT.
Well, all of them are. Isn't that a shame?
Yeah,
that's what I don't like, George. I don't like the prestige of these bowls falling off. But we all knew it was going to happen. We all knew it was going to happen, and it has, and it'll never be the same ever again. And again, it's one of those traditions that you and I grew up with, buddy, and now it's just not the same anymore.
I don't know, Watson. I hold the Pop-Tarts Bowl with great reverence.
Well, yeah, because you want to eat. You want to have a
I love the Pop-Tarts Bowl.
Okay, you got one more question with Watson.
I got one more question with Watson. Okay. I'm going to put you on the spot, Watson. How many SEC teams make it in the playoff?
5 for sure. And I'm not sure it would go past that. It would take a lot of losses in a lot of places to get 6, but I think 5 for sure.
Okay.
Watson, you were a good man to put up with us. Thank you.
Oh, love you guys. It's always an honor.
Hey, talk to you here next week.
Okay, buddy.
See ya. Watson Brown, straightening it all out for us.
He's so fun.
Well, he knows his stuff. And when I hear him make definitives, I sort of am like, ooh,
yeah,
better pay attention.
Absolutely.
Which then brings us to what you shouldn't pay attention to, which is the plaster bets of the day. There are, what did I give you? 8?
You gave me 8.
Yeah. Well, so far they have sucked for about the last week and a half. We attempt to break out of the November slump when we come back. And by the way, I don't feel all that good about it. This is the George Plaster Show.
When I got my first car, my dad told me, keep the gas tank full and my number on speed dial. Now parents are telling their kids, save 615-242-9000 just in case. I'm Blair Durham. If you or someone you love is in a wreck, call us. We're here to get you the money you deserve.
Attention, Big Orange Country. Tennessee and Illinois will square off Saturday, December the 6th at Bridgestone Arena. This is the rematch of a great college basketball game last season in Champaign that went right to the wire. And this one figures to be more of the same. Tickets are on sale now. You can grab your seats by going to Ticketmaster.com. That's Ticketmaster.com. Tennessee, Illinois. It's big time.
As the trusted premier custom home builder in Middle Tennessee, Donnelly Timmons has over 20 years of experience in the industry. Whether you're looking to build your dream home or renovate your current home, their team will ensure that every client and every remodel is unique, luxurious, and completed on time within budget. Founders Dustin Timmons and Joey Donnelly have over 25 years of construction experience in the Nashville area. Together, they have completed projects in Forest Hills, Oak Hill, Green Hills, Franklin, and Brentwood. Dustin and Joey believe that communication is the most important aspect of all construction projects. Therefore, they personally manage each project themselves and are involved in job site activities on a daily basis. Their commitment to quality and integrity has earned them an outstanding reputation among their clients. Contact them to set an appointment for a free consultation or to view some of their completed projects. Give them a call at 615-456-7983 or log on to DonleyTimmons.com.
Convenience and value, two words that we expect when we do business. Our goal at JHA Company is to deliver just that, both to our school partners and to our customers. Whether you're purchasing photos, yearbooks, class jewelry, letter jackets, school spirit wear, or senior graduation products, we strive to make the experience easy, convenient, and cost-effective. Find out more at jhacompany.com or call 615-867-6345 for more information. JHA, one source, one company.
It's the George Plaster Show. Your sports live here on 94.9 The Fan.
Yeah, I got some sunshine on a cloudy day. But it's probably not plaster bets of the day.
Oh, come on. Come on.
You got
to be confident, George. We got to get you out of the slump.
I'm not on these, and I'll admit I'm not. But I'm going to put them out there anyway, because that's what we do.
That's what we do.
Some weeks you feel really good about what you're putting out there, and they don't do well. And then other weeks you don't feel all that good, and it works. Okay, where are we starting?
First, let me tell you that Plaster's Bet of the Day is brought to you by Bart Durham Injury Law. We're starting with a game that is happening tonight at 9:30, UNLV and Hawaii.
Hawaii has been a surprise. They really have been. They blew out San Diego State a couple of weeks ago, like 38-7. But this is a little different because it's on the road. And on the road, when you're Hawaii, means a ton of travel. So I'm going to take UNLV minus the 3 at home against Hawaii in hopes that will get me off to a good start.
You know, I like that one. I think we're starting off on a good foot here.
Well, that's
this
wonderful.
Is what you brought up yesterday on Underdog Picks. Missouri versus Oklahoma.
First of all, I really wonder if Oklahoma doesn't have a tad bit of a letdown, even though as a fan out there listening and watching, you ought to be able to say, good Lord, you're 2 wins away from the college football playoff and you're going to have a letdown. You wonder how much the Alabama win is taken out of Oklahoma, and couple that with the fact that Missouri's a pretty good football team. Bo Pribula, it looks like, may play in this game, and that would be a great equalizer for Missouri. I look for this to be a really tough game, and while I don't think Missouri wins, I think they cover.
Your beloved Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets take on Pitt this week. Pitt is coming off of a loss. Do they rebound, or you like Georgia Tech?
I like Georgia Tech. Pitt got annihilated a week ago, and that had to bust their bubble a little bit. The fact that, you know, there'd been all this hype that they were going to take Notre Dame to the wire. They got the crap kicked out of them. Georgia Tech defensively was awful a week ago at BC. They were damn lucky to win that game. The difference in the game will be Haynes King. And Georgia Tech will win, and they will cover. And ultimately, Georgia Tech will be the team out of the ACC.
Love to hear that.
Yes.
Let's go, Haynes King.
Yeah, let's do.
Cincy and BYU.
Okay, this is 7 o'clock tomorrow night. And if a Vanderbilt fan is really wanting to do some scoreboard watching, this is one of the games they need to scoreboard watch. And they need to be rooting for Cincinnati to knock BYU out. BYU was unbelievably impressive a week ago in their blowout of TCU. But Cincinnati at home has been really tough. The home field is what will do it for them. And Cincinnati, will at least offer one bit of help to Vandy, and they'll take down BYU.
Okay.
You like
do
that
know that they lost to Arizona at home last week, right?
Yes, I'm well aware of that.
Okay. All right.
I keep up with the sport. I don't know if you knew that.
I do know that.
Yeah, well, okay, good.
The NFL.
Yeah.
Dallas, Philly, bitter rivals.
Yep, and I'm starting to buy into Dallas a little bit. First of all, something's going on in Philly's locker room. I don't pretend to know the specifics, but where there is this much smoke, there is some fire. Dallas is going to cover. This is their Super Bowl. This is the game that ultimately will determine whether Dallas starts to be interesting or falls apart down the stretch. I'm taking the Cowboys.
Taking
plus
the boys.
3.5.
All right.
Okay. Second game.
Chicago, Pittsburgh.
I'm taking the Bears. The Bears are finding ways to win, and Pittsburgh's got a problem right now with Aaron Rodgers' wrist. Yeah, I think he's going to play. No, I don't think he's going to be 100%. And ultimately, that's not going to be good enough.
You know, I've been hearing two words a lot around the Kelly household, and it hasn't been tighten up. It's been bear down. Bears would get moved to 8-3, still number one in the NFC North with a win.
Yeah, it's hard to believe as we get to Thanksgiving. The last game is simply me believing off of what I saw a week ago that Arizona has quit and forgot to tell anybody. They got ran home a week ago by San Fran. And honestly, they weren't the least bit competitive. And you know what? That's not good enough right now, especially against Jacksonville. Jacksonville is better. Are they better enough to win on the road? I say the answer is yes, they are.
Jacoby Brissett's been playing surprisingly well, though. That's about it. They completed 47 passes, an NFL record last game, but outside of that, they haven't got.
I just saw no fire in Arizona.
Diddly squat.
So, of those, what do you like and what do you completely disagree with?
To be honest, I like your Missouri pick. I just don't think they're going to win, but I do think they're going to cover. I think they're going to muddy that game up.
Right, and I kind of said it that way.
Yeah. So that's probably one of my favorites. I don't believe in Pitt right now, so I like the Georgia Tech one as well. The one that I'm really struggling with is the Cincinnati and BYU one.
If this game were at BYU, no way.
Yeah.
But it's in Cincinnati, and because they didn't get it done against Arizona, they've caught a lot of heat in Cincinnati this week. They will be ready for this game.
That's what makes me scared is the fact that they lost last week at home. Now, if they would have won, I probably would have leaned Cincinnati, but that's why I'm leaning BYU. The NFL love the Bears one. I hope they get to 8-3, selfishly.
Ben Johnson just might be a Coach of the Year candidate.
For sure, yeah.
I mean, they've done that good a job.
Yeah.
I want to see what Dallas does because I think their defense is considerably improved in the last 3-4 weeks. And Dak Prescott's had a monster year. And Sunday, it seems to me, is sort of the question of, okay, are you going to waste his great year or are you going to do something with it?
Sure seems like they've wasted it so far.
So far they have. This is their chance to start to make it pretty interesting. And the crap that will come out of Philly if they lose, and in particular, if their offense continues to struggle, get ready. Okay, we're done for this Friday afternoon that as I look outside feels like it's turned into evening. We'll be back with you on Monday. We'll start with Titans analysis, then the college football top 12. See you then.
Family Leisure's Black Friday sale is going on now.
That's perfect. Just in time to get something for me for Christmas.
Don't you mean something for